Hello and welcome to this short presentation on some of the equality, diversity and inclusion work at the University of the Arts London. My name is Anna, I work in the EDI team here at UAL, and I'm just going to be talking you through some of the work we do, focusing on student work, but also looking at some of the work that includes our staff as well. We have had a equality, diversity and inclusion strategy running from 2019 to 2022. This was developed to cover all of the protected characteristics, as you can see, and to fulfil our public sector equality duty through 4 different objectives. The strategy is realised through an operational plan, which has SMART actions, which are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant and time-bound actions. The implementation of the strategy is the responsibility of everyone at UAL, from the Court of Governors to more local levels. Since this strategy is finishing in 2022, we're aiming to produce a new strategy running from 2023 to 2028. One of our main recent focuses at UAL in the EDI team has been the 10-point anti-racism action plan, which forms a large part of our race equality work. This action plan has 10 key objectives, including visible accountability and allyship on race equality, to improve reporting, monitoring and resolution processes, to align anti-racism action plan with UAL EDI strategies, to implement anti-racism education across the university, to disaggregate statistics and KPIs, to extend the number of Black and minority ethnic visiting lecturers, to increase the proportion of Black and minority ethnic students, as well as to increase the proportion of Black and minority ethnic staff, to decolonise the curriculum and to eliminate the degree awarding gap. Over the last year since this has been launched, lots of work has taken place on all of these objectives, one of which is the 30% Black and Asian minority ethnic staff target, which is to ensure staff represent the student community at UAL. We are also working on, alongside this, on the Race Equality Charter Mark submission, which is an external charter mark, and there will be an action plan produced through this, which will eventually align with the 10-point action plan. In terms of education, anti-racism training and workshops have been piloted and are available for student-facing staff. There is also a mandatory EDI training for all staff, and there will soon be an EDI module available for students too. Race equality isn't the only focus at UAL, and we have plenty of student EDI initiatives focusing on other protected characteristics. We've listed some examples here. This isn't an exhaustive list, but some highlights of student-related initiatives which might be interesting. We've got an access and participation plan, which I believe all universities are required to have as part of the commitment to the Office for Students, and the UAL's access and participation plan's aim is to equalise access, continuation, attainment and progression, and focuses on 5 different student groups. We very recently launched a very comprehensive trans and non-binary inclusion policy and guidance. This one was for staff, but there will be one available for students very shortly. The guidance includes information on a number of topics, including confidentiality and disclosure, practical support, changing records, and dealing with bullying and harassment. The EDI team also aims to recognise important awareness days, weeks and months. An example of this is the upcoming Black History Month, which is in October, where we have organised a number of events available for students and staff, including online talks, such as a talk on Netflix series Bridgerton's Real Black History, and in-person events, such as a Black Hair Zine workshop, which is taking place at London College of Communication. The EDI team assisted on creating a custom religious observances Outlook calendar, which aims to avoid clashes when it comes to scheduling and timetabling. We work with Accessible to provide accessible building guides for UAL buildings. These can be accessed on Accessible's website, and you can go to these websites and see these building guides ahead of visiting any of our buildings. We work closely with the Arts SU on student equality. a student union member sits and co-chairs on one of UAL's race equality charter groups, for instance. However, we do have a new EDI manager starting in October who will focus specifically on student EDI, and we hope the partnership will grow from there. The protected characteristics of student and staff bodies are also monitored, and an annual report goes to the Board of Governors. I'd also like to draw your attention to EDI-related support services for students, which can be found on our website. This includes counselling, a disability service, and a chaplaincy. Very briefly, we'd like to tell you about some of the wider EDI governance and work that happens at UAL that perhaps isn't solely focused on students. In 2022, UAL achieved a Gold Award for trans inclusion work from the Stonewall Equality Index. We are also a Disability Confident Committed Level 1 employer, and we're working towards Level 2, which is Disability Confident Employer. This will, for instance, include a guaranteed interview scheme for disabled candidates. We have a number of staff groups, as you can see, which anyone can join. And we also have something called a Champions Forums, championed by an executive board member. So when there are important projects and initiatives involving these protected characteristics, there are groups of people who have the knowledge and influence in the organisation to effect change in this way. Thank you for listening to that brief presentation. Please go and have a look at the UAL diversity web pages. There's one on student diversity, which I think would be most relevant, and I believe you'll be able to find some contact details on there if you had any more questions for us. Thank you very much.